Welcome to Thoughts and Treasures. My name is Connie, and this is my craft room. Welcome in. If you guys are new, please be sure to hit that follow button or subscribe button, depending on where you're watching at. And make sure that you do that so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I post. I hope this inspires you tonight. Tonight we are working on a chick rules this roost. That's right. That's good. That's a good motto for everybody. So this is the sign that we're going to be working on. This is cut from my laser, and we're going to just make it look cute. So I've been sitting here contemplating whether I want to do chippy or if I want to just do regular. I don't know, but I think I'm going to try the chippy and see what it looks like. Who knows? You know, it might be good. But with any of my kits, and this can be a kit if you would like it to be, and the kit would also include, and we're going to put this on with a vinyl, and I forgot to get the transfer paper, but that's okay, we can get that after. All of my 1/4 inch stuff, except for this backer piece, because that's not cut on the laser, will have masking on it. You want to make sure that you remove that. Masking is just tape. If you guys are not familiar, masking is just tape that protects the wood. It is only on the front because the back you're going to either completely paint or cover up. You know, no one's going to see it as much. So, with that being said, let me get this board off here so I don't get it all. So I think I've decided that I'm going to do some chippy while I'm painting this. I'm still going to sit there and think about it. But I do want to welcome everybody in while I pick all this stuff off. These are pre-recorded videos, but I do it all. It's pretty much like it's live. There is no editing involved. What you see is what you get. So if I mess up, it's okay. That's part of crafting, and it's part of how you learn. My mistakes can be your learning tool. So I think what I've decided is that I am going to use celery and as the top coat, and underneath of it I'm going to use burnt umber. I don't want to use black. I don't know, I was thinking about it, then I was thinking about nutmeg, which is a lighter brown, but I'm not sure if I like the combo of the two of them. I don't know, it might look good too. I don't know. Now that I'm sitting here looking at it in the camera, maybe the nutmeg would look better. No, I think I'm still going to stick with it because I don't know. I mean, look, any color is going to, it's not going to matter. I am going to do my little chicken in white because I have the vinyl in black. If I wanted to do a black chicken or a different colored chicken, I have to make sure that the vinyl matches whatever you're doing. I decided that I was going to do a white chicken. Oh gosh, here we go. I think it'll be fine. I think we're going to try it. We're going to try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. This video will be posted anyway. I am that crafter who I'll think about things. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm telling you, I've changed my mind 3 times already before I even hit that record button. But it's okay. We're crafters. We're allowed to do things like that. But I am going to antique wax these to go on it, so I do know that. I love spindles. I'm not sure if you do or not, but I just think there's something different about them. They're really nice. Maybe they're farmhouse-ish, I don't know. But the backer board I'm using is just a plain 1/4 inch 11 by 14. No, yeah, 11 by 14. I have to think of the size for a second. And I just made these spindles to fit that. And we put the chicken on. We're going to put the chicken on. We're going to put the chicken on. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about this, but I am going to paint him first, just to get him out of the way, because he's going to take. But you know what? I might not do it first because I want to see what it's going to look like. Maybe I want to do a different, like a darker, not dark, but maybe like a cashew instead of a white. Yeah, let's do the backer first. Look, see how indecisive I am? I love to change my mind because I can. I am going to do the back first, and I'm just going to keep that the burnt umber. We're just going to keep it just to give it a finished look. And I'm only going to do the front and the sides and the chippy look, because there's no need for chippy in the back here. This is just for finished purposes only. Finished purposes only. And again, 90% of the time I put paint on like this, I put too much on, so cross your fingers. So we are going to do the front too. This is going to be the back. Now when you do the chippy look, just like the crackle, whatever color you have underneath obviously is going to show through. The more places that you put the crackle, in this case I'm going to use just glue, crackle medium, that is how it's going to show up. So the more you put, the merrier. I will show you a frame that I did. I don't like a large amount of crackle. I mean, not crackle, we're doing, I do not like a large amount of chippy, but I like enough to just give it some aged look. And to me, anything farmhouse, you know, you need it to be grungy, you need, not grungy, but you need it to be a little bit dirty. Nothing farmhouse is ever clean. I'm gonna get the sides. And then when I do the front, if we get in on the sides, then I'll paint the sides. But other than that, we're just gonna leave it as is. All right, put that in there. Oh, I didn't need to put it in there, but it did anyway. I need it for the front. So this is an 11 by 14 board. We covered it with the burnt umber. And then I'm going to, when I do the chippy look, I'm going to use the silver. I think that's going to be a nice combo. So when you do anything like crackle or chippy, you can use any combinations. You can use pink and purple. You can use white and blue. Any combination you want. You can put the white underneath and the dark blue on top. It's all going to matter on what you're actually looking to have, you know, the look that you want. There is no, oh, it has to be black and white. This is crafting. In crafting, we experiment, we learn, we try different things. If it doesn't look right, then we paint over it. Now I'm going to flip this over, and apparently I'm going to get a new brush because that brush went to the water, and you know, once you put it in the water, ew, ew, ew. Snap boogers, paint boogers. All right. Let's get this painted up. And once I get this painted, I will wipe my mat down. I do have a silicone mat down. Guys, I have this mat in my Amazon store. If you are interested, you are more than welcome to check that out. I have used this silicone mat for probably 3 years now. And yeah, it has some stains on it, but overall, it is not bad at all. And the stuff comes up off of it. It is really nice to work with. Gosh, what is going on here? We got paint problems. Let me get it all over me. I'm just gonna grab it. Yeah, what's going on here? Whew. And this is, like I said, this is not expensive paint. This is just apple barrel burnt umber. Now I'm going to make sure that this has a full coverage on it because I don't want any of this wood to come through. So I'm probably going to dry it and do a little bit more. I'm not worried about the back as much as I'm worried about the front. Alright, so I'm going to dry this real quick and we're going to put another coat on. I'm going to clean my mess about this table before we put the front coat on. I think I really prefer crackle or chippy over crackle. It just, I don't know, kind of gives it a nice weathered look rather than I think I use way more paint than I need when I do it this way. Some people can put a nice amount on. I just feel like I put way too much. So if you guys are interested in seeing all my other videos, you can go to thoughtsofctreasures.com and there will be a link, not a link, there will be a list on one of the, what you want to call it, the tabs that you can check out all of the different videos I have. I am on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok and Facebook as Thoughts of Treasures. So if you'd like to follow me on any of them, I would appreciate the follow. Please be sure to share this video to anyone that you may think would be interested, or any group or anybody that you would think would be that allows it, actually. All right, I think that is good. Now we're going to get this dried completely. Clean this mess up. Put that away. Let's get this dried completely fresh. I'm going to clean my mess up. Before I show you the method I use. There are, like I said, there's different methods you can use for this. They do have chippy medium, you know, things that you can do. I don't know. This is the only method I've ever used. I'm sure other people do different things. Alright, let that dry just a second longer. Put that over here. It's still a little, of course it's still a little wet, but I'm going to get this mess all cleaned up. So with the silicone mat, I mean, this stuff just comes up. The only problem I ever have is with chalk paint. And you'll probably see that when I do this. Now with darker colors like black, kind of smears it around a little bit, but I'm just using baby wipes. If you use, you know, regular cleaning chemicals, you know, the wipes, the cleaning wipes, the Clorox cleaning wipes and stuff, it comes up very, very easily. All right, so we got that cleaned up. I'm gonna bring this back because it's still a little wet and we're gonna get it dry completely. I want to get this part done because I want to see whether I want to do my chicken actually white and maybe like a cream color. I have plaster sitting here and I was thinking about doing that. And I think that might look really nice on this. Alright, so let me show you what I do for my chippy. This is just regular Elmer's school glue. It is the purple kind. You don't have to use the purple. I just always have. It seems like you can see it better where you're putting it on. My sign's going to go this way, so I'm going to kind of keep, some people like to do it both ways. I like to keep it in one direction, the chippy. That's just me, my preference. So when I put it on, depending on how much you want it to be. Let me show you, for example. This is a fence board that I did. It's not a lot of chippy, it's just a little bit here and there. That's the kind of chippy I like, not too much, not too little. Just a little bit in between. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of put some in different places. So wherever you put this, I think that's good. I don't want to go more than that. Is where you can be able to chippy it off. And we're going to use, oh goodness, hopefully we have one. I haven't chippied in so long. Oh my gosh, no. Oh, here we go. I was going to say, we're just going to use like a little, I don't know what they call this. A paint scraper. Imagine that, a paint scraper. So I am going to use, hopefully this is, let's shake this up first. We're going to use I shouldn't have. I opened that paint up over this. It's alright. Let's say that's not going to fit in there. See? Now we're going to resort to the little one. Alright. So I'm just going to do a very good coat on this. Go one direction, just like when you chippy, or when you, see, I'm going to get them all mixed up. Just like when you crackle. Go in one direction. Apply a good amount. Oh, people use Vaseline. I know that's what they use. Some people have used Vaseline for this. I don't like that. Now I am using a foam brush. You can use whatever kind of paintbrush you would like. Does not have to be this. And I think I'm going to go around the edges in this color. I'm going to stop there. Actually, I'm going to use that first thing. So I'm going to give it a good dry now. Then all the paint on it. You can see where some of it is not wanting to stay. That's exactly what happens. The paint pulls away from those areas where you put the glue. Actually, I don't know how I did over there, but if I didn't, I just did this one spot, so let me... Let's get this finished dry. Because didn't get any on that side, which you can't tell, and then I'll leave the sides dark. And we're going to give this a good, complete dry. You'll almost see it start to crackle in spots. That is normal. That's what it's going to look like. But then when you take it off, it's going to be different. And you'll see some areas starting to pull away. I really want this to look like an old barn board with a different color. That's what I'm going for, so it's farmhousey. Give this a good job and not in a rush. We'll be here forever. Good thing it's 90 degrees in here. Have this heat tool going. But you definitely want it to be completely dry. I can still see areas that are red. Trying to look at the angle and see where it's wet. Still wet over here, still wet here. I think that's pretty good. So now you're left with that. Now, if you want to just leave it like that, it's absolutely your choice. But let me check before I put this in the trash can. Yep, we're pretty good. Not the trash can, into the water. I think we're good. Let me close this up. So now the next step is, I mean, you can leave it just like that if that's what you're looking for. Not where I'm going to go with this. So you're just going to take your little scraper knife and you're just going to start pulling some of this paint off. What's going to come off is where the glue is. I personally like to go in one direction. It's just how I don't like all the back and forth. I'm just cleaning this off every once in a while for the paint. Now, that is what I'm going for. I think that's perfect. Just something subtle, not too much chippy. Oh, I just put that right back on there. That was dumb. Let me get this mess cleaned up. It's all over the place. It's a vacuum for. We're good with that. But that's perfect to me. Not too much, not too little, but yet it looks like a rough, rustic board. Now, some people do go this way too. I like to go in one direction. To each their own. Clean that off real quick. Stick that back in the drawer. Now I'm going to give this one last dry. So you see how the color underneath definitely comes out. So no matter what color you use, it's going to come out. You're going to see that, but you're going to see the majority of your green that we used. I think that is awesome. So now, when I'm going to antique wax these up first. Put our little spindles on here. I think they're going to look awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a quick antique wax so we can see what it's going to look like while it's drying a little bit. So I just have some antique wax here, and I'm just going to apply this with a baby wipe. Give coating on them. I do want them fairly dark. I don't want them light. That's perfect. Now, if they dry and you still want them a little bit darker, you can go back and do that. The more you wipe off, obviously, the lighter it's going to be. The more you apply on, the thicker it'll be. Of course, the longer it'll take to dry also. Keep that in mind. And I think I'm going to do this one just a tiny bit darker. I think I like that. That's perfect. I think it's going to be perfect with that green. These dry. like spindles. I just think they're very unique to work with. Now these are flat spindles, but you know the actual spindles from table legs and staircases. They're really cool. You can do a lot of different things with those too. Pretty good. Now let's take it back over here and put it on our board. See what we think. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect. I love it. So now that I'm seeing these colors together, I'm really contemplating going with cashew for my chicken or plaster. I definitely don't want to do white. White's definitely not going to work. But I think I'm going to stick with the plaster. I think the cashew might be too dark, but I'm really liking how that looks. So there's not going to be any, this is going to be like a silhouette of a chicken. We're not doing any fancy dancy things to it. We are just painting it up. We're not putting beaks and noses, and everything's going to be one color. I'm going to be careful not to get it on the sides. I want to keep, this was cut on the laser, so it's got the nice dark edge. I want to keep that. If that's not something you like, you can definitely paint over that. However, I think it's a pain in the butt when you got to go down here by the feet and everything. And I'm definitely going to do 2 coats on this. I think this is going to be a better choice. You know, like I said, I originally was thinking of doing white, but you know, now seeing those colors, the white would be wrong choice. Wrong choice. So pretty. Get them all painted up. And like I said, I'm just being careful around the edges because I don't want to go over to the side. Let's get to his head first. And I don't really even think I'm going to grungy him up, because originally what I was going to do. I was going to do him white and make him a little grungy, but I think we got enough grunge going on with our backboard that we don't need any more grunge. And I say grunge, but you know, dirty it up a little bit. I'm trying to be careful so I don't get any on the side down here. We're going to give him a coat. Oh, good coat. We're going to give him a good dry. Give this a good dry, and then we'll put a second coat on here. And our little sign says the chick rules this roost is going to be placed right on him. Oh God, sorry. Her. And then we're going to glue all this together. Hopefully my battery's going to be good enough. I might use some wood glue and a little bit of glue. So when I glue wood on wood, 90% of the time I use wood glue. It's a better hold and raised flatter. Hot glue tends to leave like a puffiness sometimes. So keep that in mind, you know, when you do wood kits and things like that. I do not recommend using hot glue to put it together, especially for all the pieces. And again, this is going to be laying flat, so you'd probably be okay using wood glue, but I might just turn the hot glue on for, you know, a little bit of a quick hold here or there, but we'll see. I think I'm just going to use the wood glue. No bow for this, no nothing. We're going to put a little hanger on it, and that is about it. But I'm going to show you, I did cut that vinyl from from my Cricut. If you have a vinyl cutter, silhouette, cameos, whatever they're called, I have just been kind of like Android and Apple. I have nothing against either one. I've just learned on the Cricut. I know the Cricut. I've been with the Cricut. The Cricut is mine. I know the ins and outs. I've never used a Silhouette Studio or Silhouette. I use the Studio, the program, but I do not use the machine. So I couldn't tell you. I have nothing bad to say about it, nothing good to say, because I've never used it. I, however, love my Cricut. I own 2 of them. One sits right here down in my craft room. The other one is in my office. And I own the very first machine that they came out with is the Cricut Explorer. Still works perfect to this day. I actually like it better than I like my Maker. I have the Cricut Maker here. Not the Maker 3 or anything, just the Cricut Maker. And I thought, well, heck, when it came out, I needed that. I don't know why, but I needed that. So I bought one and have used it maybe a handful of times. Just trying to get this off here. Got it right there in the little, we're okay. I mean, if it really bothers me, I will go back and use some black paint to put that in there. We'll close this up. We're going to give this a quick dry. So it is. So again, same thing like with rub-ons or anything of the sort. You want to make sure the vinyl that your paint is completely dry. Let you know, if you can, walk away. Let it be for a couple hours, let it be overnight, whatever the case may be, let it be. If it's wet in any way, shape, or form, your vinyl will not stick and it will just take the paint up and you have to start all over. I'm going to make sure fully that this is dry. I'm really going to like this. I am going to come back here. This is big enough. Oh, that should be perfect. So whenever I have transfer tape that, you know, I have a little bit left over, don't ever throw it away. Put it for the little ones, because this is like the perfect size for this. So I'm going to sand this with my softer side, not off. I just want to get it smooth. When you paint something, you get pink fibers that come up. Just want to make sure it's smooth. The smoother it is, the better your vinyl will stick to it. So now I'm going to put him to the side just for a second so I can explain to you about the vinyl. If you are new to this, this is the vinyl. I just cut it out on my Cricut. Not a big deal. It is something I'm trying to think. I don't know. I've had it in there for a while. This is your transfer tape. Remove your backer, put that in the trash can. Now, here is what I say is easier. never do this. Especially if it's a larger project, this could end up with wrinkles. You don't want wrinkles because then once you know the transfer tape hits here, you can ruin your vinyl. The best way I say to do it is to put one end down and put your vinyl onto your transfer tape, pushing it along. I don't ever use, I don't even have one here to show you, I hardly ever use the little squeegee things. All I'm doing is this. Now I do use, the transfer tape is also in my Amazon store. The StarCraft vinyl, this is what I use. This is amazing. It is very inexpensive and it works wonders. I used to use Oracle 651 or 631, one of the two. I can't even remember, it's been so long. That stuff is expensive. It is awesome to use. It's the only thing I ever used for the longest many years. Till I found StarCraft and I said, we're going with that. It's very inexpensive and it cuts like butter. It's amazing. It lasts. It's everything. So, this is permanent vinyl. We have our image on. Now, this is where I say, again, do not pull your vinyl up, your transfer tape up. That's going to make problems. It is best to flip your image over. Now, you saw that that's all I did, very lightly, okay? If you flip your image over, take a corner, okay? Now, if it comes up like this, see how it's coming up? It's not sticking to the transfer tape. You can rub, but then you can just wiggle until it comes up. If you go slowly, don't rip this off like a Band-Aid. Go slowly, and you're just gonna go and make sure everything stays down. I always say get closest to your vinyl, your piece here, and just walk it back. Now see there's a spot right here. I wanna stop, I wanna go down to it, and just pull up. You're just gonna wiggle it off, you're gonna wiggle it off. So you can use the non-stickiest piece of transfer tape. As long as it has a little bit of stickiness on it, you can transfer anything onto it. People are like, it won't stick, it won't stick. It will. If you use this method that I just showed you of taking the backer off instead of trying to take the vinyl off, it works 110% of the time. And I always say if you're using anything like antique wax, if you're using anything like a decoupage or rice paper that you decoupaged onto, you fuzz this piece of transfer tape as much as you possibly can, because if not, you're going to tear your image. So fuzz, fuzz, fuzz until there is like barely sticks to your finger, and you can still transfer something over to it. So I'm going to bring my little chicken back, and I am going to put this on here where I think it's going to be best. Doesn't have to be completely straight. I'm not pushing it down yet. I think I like it right there. I don't like it there, but I think it's down. It is. We're gonna stick it there. It's okay. We'll put our chicken on a little crooked. That's all I did. Rubbed. I don't have a brayer. I'm not scraping. And then I'm just gonna pull up. See how easy this is? Now go slowly, again, because if something comes up, you can stop. You can push it down. But just go slowly. I always say go corner to corner. Don't pull up here. You always want to pull closest to where you can get to and pull down towards. So you're pretty much putting your thumb on the object and pushing. And if it gets too far away, you go down and move it back. Keep doing that. You also want to do it until you get off of this paint, because if you just pull off, you could possibly take your paint with it. And we're going to use this. This is still sticky. We're going to put it over here to the side on our desk. And then there we got a chick rules this roost. Okay, so now, let's see what it's going to look like on our board. OMG. So now I'm going to put this these are going to be not at the tippy top, but they're going to be closer to the top. And we're going to put this little guy right in there. And I'm going to make my chicken on there so that the words, because the words are a little cockeyed, but that's okay. We'll just make the chicken a little cockeyed and it'll work out perfect. So before I glue anything down on the front, I'm going to put I'm going to put a hanger on this. And I'm going to put that on with hot glue, of course. Oh, that's a little big. I'll cut that down. These are, I'm going to take these off, put these to the side. We're going to flip this over. Actually, let me just get my beads on my hanger first. I do not do a full beaded hanger. I like to do probably about 10 beads per, 5 beads per side, 10 beads for the whole hanger. That's just a me thing. Some people prefer to do the entire hanger. It doesn't, you know, I just don't like that. I don't like the way it sits on the where you're going to hang it. This way you still get the bead effect, which I love beads. As you can obviously tell, this is just one binful I have. They are my favorite decorative item on any sign. I absolutely love making signs. That is my main thing. Anything sign making, anything you can hang up, I absolutely love. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I gotta take that one off. Hold on. That one's the wrong bead. It's the smallest one. Let's get rid of this one. He's stuck in baby land. Alright, so let's put this back on. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's good. Now let me put the lid back onto this because we are not picking all these every place off. I will let you know that now. Alright. Now, let's see which one I want for the top and which one for the bottom. Let me use this for the top. Alright, let's flip this over. Now these are just going to be helpers for my twine. All that they're for. And give it more support, I'm going to go ahead and put a string of glue down here. Make sure that turns back on. I just got that in the glue. Yes, I made it long because I just got that end in the glue. Let me, and we're going to put one of these guys down on here. And we're just going to smooth it out. Be careful, it is hot. And the glue will come through this. Ouch. Now I'm going to hold this up so I can see at what length I want this. I don't want it to be a huge hanger. And this is just how I do it. I think that's probably about good. And I need a glue stick. Use this one hand and keep my keeping my finger where I need it to be. Alright, now let's try this again. We're going to put a glue glob down here. And I'm going to put this down on here. I always like to put the hanger on first because, well, it's easier, especially if you have a bow or anything of the sort in the front. It's laying flat now. You don't have to worry about anything being ruined that you're pushing down on. It just, to me, makes more sense to put the hanger on first. You could put a hidden hanger on, you could put a regular hanger on, you could put a beaded hanger on. You could put just a little loop here. Okay, I'm going to cut this off. Put that back over there a second. Cut this one off. Put this back over here. And now, I'm not going to hold it up by that, but there's our little hanger. And now we can glue our front pieces on. And like I said, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put glue down on here. We got some wood glue. We're just going to use that. Wood to wood. Besides, I'm trying to use this bottle up. This gives you time to maneuver it around. Like I said, I do not want it directly at the bottom. I want some space. We're going to do the same thing at the top. It's getting hot down here. We're going to do the same thing to this piece. So now this is the super glue, wood glue from the Dollar Tree. I think it's really good stuff. It holds nicely. It gives it a nice hold, quick hold. And, you know, like any wood glue, it does take 24 hours to completely dry, but you are getting a good adhesion of this once it's all pushed on. So just a few seconds of it sitting, you got a good, oh, that looks so good. I absolutely love this. It's better than I thought. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing with this little guy. Oh, we got masking on his feet. Let's get that off first. Over here. So I don't normally mask the back, but when you mask the piece of wood, you have to go around it. So that's where part of it was. Bottle's almost empty. You got to use all the glue. So with this bottle, you have to cut holes in the top, and I cut a humongous hole. So it likes to drip out. Not when it gets this low though. But you can use Tight Bond, I think it's called. There's other glues out there. There's other wood glues you can use. You do not have to use this glue at all. I just think this is really good glue. I like the bottle size because when you get to the Tight Bond, those bigger bottles, by the time you get to the bottom of it, you're like, I mean, I'm doing that with this, and this is just a little bottle. So it is what it is. But this is the part that I do like, is that I can put it on here and get it to where I want it to go. And I can move it around some. Now I don't want to hold him up just quite yet because I want that glue to dry a little bit. He's still movable. These are not, but he is. And I'm going to leave it at that. I love it. The technique of the chippy is awesome. Guys, you have to try it if you've never tried it before. Simple. It just gives it that rustic look, and it's amazing. So I do want to say thank you for joining me, being here in my craft room with me. And remember, if you are not following or you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I also have a Facebook channel where I notify you when I go live on Facebook or on YouTube, depending on where. But if you guys want to join that, it is on Facebook. I also have Telegram. Those links are on my website in my link tree. If you want to join, please do so. Other than that, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Enjoy it, and I will see you next time in my craft room. Till then, remember, thoughts become things and things become treasures. Bye for now.